In previous videos, we have looked at configuring management group global settings, configuring alert resolution states, database grooming, privacy settings, reporting settings, heartbeat, and security. Now in this video, we're going to take a look at individual server options. So what are individual server options? One would be Active Directory integration. So we're going to take a deeper look at Active Directory integration, how to create run as accounts, add the run as accounts to run as profiles, and configure individual management server options. System Center 2016 Operations Manager provides the ability to configure agents through Active Directory. Now, this takes place by publishing the Ops Manager agent configuration details to Active Directory, and an Operations Manager agent performs an LDAP query to the authenticating domain controller at system startup. It queries that domain controller to determine the management group it belongs to and the management server that it will communicate with. Now, Active Directory integration does not actually deploy an agent. What it does is just allows the agent to, through Active Directory, find out what management group and management server that it will communicate with. Now, to use Active Directory integration in Operations Manager 2016, you have to first configure some settings. Now, one of the first things that you would do is create a global security group. The global security group should contain the computer accounts belonging to the AD assignment resource pool. Now, to view the membership of the AD assignment resource pool, you would navigate to the administration pane, resource pool, and then right mouse click the AD assignment resource pool and click view resource pool members. And this resource pool should contain all of the management servers in the management group by default. After creating this global security group, the next thing you would do is create the container object to store the information in Active Directory. This is done by browsing to Program Files, System Center 2016, Operations Manager Server folder, and from there you would run the mom AD admin program. Now, whenever you run the mom AD admin program from a command prompt, you would put in the path momadadmin.exe, the management group name, the Ops Manager admin security group that you created in the previous step, the run as account, along with the domain. So what is a run as account? A run as account contains a single set of credentials that are stored in the Operations Manager operations database. Now, whenever a workflow requires rights and privileges that the default MS Action account cannot provide, the workflow can be written to use a run as profile. Now, the run as profile can have one or more run as accounts associated with it. So whenever you are configuring Active Directory integration, you're going to first create a run as account for the Active Directory base agent assignment, and then associate that run as account with the Active Directory base agent assignment run as profile. In this demonstration, we're going to do multiple things. We're going to learn how to configure the Active Directory integration, create a run as account, and associate the run as account with the run as profile. For the sake of time, I've already pre-configured some of the settings. So I created my global security group called Ops Manager Admin, and inside Ops Manager Admin, I've added both of my management servers. These management servers are found in the Administration Workspace, Resource Pool, and the AD Assignment Resource Pool. You just right mouse click this and click View Resource Pool Members. And there are my two management servers that I added to that global security group. So the next step in configuring AD integration is from a command prompt, and I just got to an administrator command prompt. I would type in, change my path to Program Files, System Center 2016, Operations Manager Server, and then press Enter. From this location, I would type in my path, and the syntax is momadadmin.exe, the name of my management group, which is case sensitive, the name of my AD security group, my run as account, and the name of my domain. Once you've completed this, you would just hit enter. After that has executed, what you're looking for is this statement: successfully created a container for management group, OpsMan, and OpsMan admin is already a member of the OpsMan admin security group, so no changes were required. So I successfully created the Active Directory integration. Now that was the first step. The next thing I would do is create my Run As account and associate the Run As account with the Run As profile. To create my Run As account, from the administration pane, I would scroll down to Run As configuration and click Accounts. And I'm going to create my Run As account. So right mouse click and click Create Run As Account. That's going to bring your Create Run As Account wizard. This is where you can actually read what's about to happen, create an account for a set of credentials that's going to be presented by the Run As profile. Click Next. Select the account. This is going to be a Windows account, what the display name is, and you can give it a description. Once you're satisfied with the name and the description, click Next. And then select the credentials. This is where you'll put in the domain name, password, and the domain for the Windows Run As account. And then click Next. The next screen, you'll see the distribution security options. Now these credentials for the Run As account must be distributed to the agent managed computers or management servers to perform the monitoring that's going to be associated with this Run As profile. So I can choose either more secure, where I can manually select the individual computers that these credentials would apply to, or less secure, if I want the credentials to be distributed automatically to all managed computers. So for this instance, I want to choose less secure. And then you click Create. And now I've successfully created the Run As account. I'll just need to associate this Run As account with the appropriate Run As profile. So here I'll click Close. And now underneath the accounts, I'll select the profiles. And the profile that I'm going to associate this Run As account with is my Active Directory base agent assignment account. And I'll click Properties. This is going to bring up the introductory wizard, where it'll tell you that this Run As profile allows monitoring of rules, tasks, and monitors to run for an account that has sufficient permissions to monitor the particular resources. So I'll click Next. Under the general properties, you can click Next. It's just telling you the display name of the Run As profile and the description. And this Run As profile is an account used by ADBase Agent Assignment Module to publish information and settings to Active Directory. So I'll click Next. And I'll click Add to add the Run As account. From here, I'll click the drop-down arrow, select my Run As account, and I named it OM Admin. This Run As account will be associated with to manage all target objects. So I'll click OK and save. And I'll get the success, and I'll just click Close at this point. After configuring Active Directory integration, the next thing we're going to take a look at is configuring individual management server options. Now, in a previous video, we looked at the global management server options, and the global options apply to all of the management servers in the management group. Now, if you wish, you can go in and override the global settings with individual settings on each individual management server, and you'll have options like configuring auto agent assignments. So you'll have the chance to add or modify auto agent assignment settings in Active Directory. Now, these settings specify which agent managed computers will be monitored by this management server. On the Heartbeat tab, Security tab, and Proxy settings, you can override some of the global settings. In this demonstration, you will learn how to configure individual management server settings. From the administration workspace, we will click Management Servers, and whichever management server you want to configure individual settings for to override some of your global settings. So I'm going to choose my Ops OM1 management server, click Properties, and that's going to open up the individual management server properties for my OM1 server. Now, previously, I showed you how to set up Active Directory integration, and you set up Active Directory integration for use with Operations Manager if you want to choose how to manage your agents through Active Directory. Now, to populate the correct settings in Active Directory, you'll need to run the Agent Assignment and Failover Wizard. To do that, under Agent Assignments, and you would do this to add or modify agent assignment settings in AD. Now, this setting specifies which agent-managed computers will be monitored by this management server. Now, if you want to add all of the agent-managed systems, you can just build your LDAP query by clicking the Add button, or you can go in and configure individual managed computers to be managed by this management server. So I would just click the Add button, and that's going to bring up my agent assignment and failover wizard. Now, this wizard is going to walk you through the process of assigning agents to the management server using Active Directory. Now, there are 4 steps. You'll specify your domain, specify the credentials for inclusions of the computer. Basically, you build your criteria. Specify your criteria for inclusion, not credentials. So specify your criteria. You can exclude specific computers if your criteria is too broad, and then you would select your managed failover agent. Now, the mom AD executable command line tool has to be run by a domain administrator before you can run this wizard. Now, we did that previously. So you would click Next. Your domain is automatically populated. So this is where you would select a domain if you had multiple domains. Now, if I want to use a different account other than the Active Directory-based agent assignment account, then I can choose that account here by clicking this checkbox. Well, in the previous video, I showed you how to create a Run As account and then associate that Run As account with the Active Directory-based agent assignment account Run As profile. So I'll just use that profile, click Next. And this allows me to build my criteria. So I can actually build an LDAP query that filters the targeted computers accounts in Active Directory that I want to be assigned to this management server. So once you click Configure, if I want all computers and roles to be associated with this particular management server, from here I would just click OK. Or I could click the Advanced tab, and then I could find fields based on computer name, description, managed by operating system, version, or any kind of phonetic display name. So I'm going to just click OK right here, and that's going to build my LDAP query. You also can define multiple criteria to filter out machines based on operating system, starts with, ends with, is exactly certain values, but I'm just going to choose this default so that all devices will be included. Click Next. This is where you can exclude computers from the previous inclusion criteria and query. So I can manually type in the FQDN, the fully qualified domain name of computers that I want to exclude from this particular rule. And this is separated by either a semicolon, a comma, or a new line. And you would just type, if it's a computer called sales, a domain called Contoso, sales.contoso.com, and click Next. The last page of the wizard allows you to configure and define how the failover is going to occur. So if you select the first option, which is to automatically manage failover, the monitor system's agents will automatically failover to any management server in the management group. But if you want to have more granular control over which management server that the agents will failover to, then you could choose manually configure failover. And I could either select or deselect the management server that I want the agents to failover to in the event that OM1 fails. So I'll just select automatically manage failover. So the agents will automatically report to any other management server in the same management group if their primary management server becomes unavailable. And then lastly, you would just click Create. By selecting the Heartbeat tab, I can override the global settings. Now, my global settings allows for 2 missed heartbeats before the management server will ping a managed computer. If I wish to override this setting, I would just click Override Global Management Server Settings, and that allows me to change these settings. I would just leave it at 2. The Security tab, again, if I wish to override the global management server, now this is on an individual management server, this allows me to override the manually installed agents, which the global settings are to review new manual install agents in pending management. And those are the settings that I want to apply to this management server. So I'll clear this checkbox. And also allow this server to act as a proxy and discover managed objects on other computers. Now this can be a security risk, so there's a management pack that may even give you an alert in the console. We'll cover that a little later. And lastly, under your proxy settings, this allows you to use a proxy server for communication with Microsoft. If you don't want your management server to directly communicate with Microsoft when sending agent information and monitoring information, any kind of error information back to Microsoft, you can configure a proxy address along with the port. And once you're satisfied with the individual settings, just click OK. This concludes our videos on Active Directory integration, configuring Run As accounts, and associating Run As accounts with Run As profiles, and also configuring individual management server options. Our next video, we will look at installing the Operations Manager agent.